7th Annual Nissan U.S. Grand Prix of Motocross at Carlsbad Raceway. Saturday, June 28th. Europe's top motocrossers challenge America's best. Ward, Bailey, Lachine, and El Cajon's Jim and Ricky Johnson. In 2 blistering World Championship races. This is the only U.S. stop on the world circuit. Gates open at 8, first race noon. Tickets at Ticketron and Telecedor at Carlsbad Raceway. The Nissan U.S. Grand Prix Motocross World Championship, Saturday, June 28th. Carlsbad.
Well, I've been here at least 5 times, probably a half dozen times, and I'm always completely knocked out that they do what they do. I mean, look at that. You wouldn't even walk down it.
Jeez, you first, maybe.
Well,
plus it's so slippery, isn't it? I mean, it's just this dry dirt.
It's just sand.
How you doing?
All right. Don't want to do it again. What does your body feel like after 45 minutes of this?
You know, it's totally exhausting. And even the people that come into this incredibly fit just give up near the end sometimes.
And of course, as if the sheer pain of trying to finish one of these things isn't enough, you have the further insult of the mud.
Of course, the first thing the mud does, gets in your eyes and you can't see. But, you know, I think the worst part is when it gets in your mouth and you taste it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
This is ridiculous.
Well, Sam, this is going to be it for me. I know what's on the other side of this hill, and when we get to the top, I'm stopping.
You know, I know what's on the other side, too. And it seems kind of amazing to me that after 29 turns and I don't know how many bumps and dips, they would save the most spectacular part for the end. You know, you can almost imagine now what it's going to be like, can't you?
Well, we don't have to imagine it, Sam. Today on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we'll see the only event of its kind in the United States, the U.S. Grand Prix Motocross Motorcycle Championship from Carlsbad, California.
come by in the lead. I'm here just a few feet from the finish line. From these bleachers, you'll hear a huge roar every time Americans go by in the lead, because much of the drama of this event stems from the confrontation between two separate cultures. One, the European princes of motocross, who are used to racing before 50,000 or more every weekend on motocross courses all across Europe. Two, the small army of American motocross racers, most of them from California, who look forward to this one chance every year to race against the Grand Prix racers and knock them off here on their home turf. It really makes for a confrontation of cultures which is unique in this sport and makes this event one of the most important in Grand Prix motocross racing. Sam Posey is very close to me at another point on the track. And Sam, are they coming to you now?
As David Bailey literally flies toward my position here at what they call the Devil's Drop. You see him there, closely pursued, over the drop. It raises the question of pacing in this event, which is so physically demanding. Garrett Walsing, the great champion who won this race 5 times, once told me that his secret was to lay out of the pace a little bit in the first moto, saving his energy for the second moto. It may be today that it's not the fastest rider that will win this race, but rather the man that can pace himself the best. Approaching, you see him soaring into the air there. The paradox of this turn is that despite the flight of the bikes, which looks so frightening, it's actually one of the few moments on the lap around this track where the bike is not being subjected to the vibrations of the surface itself. In other words, it's a relaxing moment in a way for the rider. You can't afford to relax for too long, though, in the air, because like a skier, the motorcyclist must get his bike down on the ground in order to get traction, in order to get forward motion.
Carlsbad, California. Again, I'm Jim Lampley with Sam Posey as we ready for the second of the two motos, or heats if you prefer, that make up the United States Grand Prix Motocross Motorcycle Championship. Sam, we're ready for what is the classic confrontation here at Carlsbad. The hot young American Johnny O'Mara, who won the first moto, against Andre Malherbe of Belgium, the two-time world champion, who coolly rode to second place in that first moto. We've already seen what you pointed out at the start of the race, what can happen to somebody who goes out hot from the beginning, as in the case of David Bailey, who broke his bike while leading that first moto. What is likely to be on the minds of O'Mara and Malherbe as they prepare for this second moto?
Well, you know, I just talked to them both moments ago when they were still down in the pits before coming up to the line, and they are a study in contrast. Malherbe, you said, is cool. He's even more than that. He's utterly relaxed. He's a man who's already had a very successful day, extending his lead in the World Championship. Johnny O'Mara, on the other hand, is a young man full of concentration and intensity. He wants this very badly. He was tired by the first moto, exhausted by it, but his determination will show now, I think, in the second moto.
Well, we'll see if that intensity will pay off. Moments away from the start. Remember, the first 150 yards of this race are perhaps the most important.
I haven't been feeling really that great all day anyhow. I've been really low on energy for some reason. In that moto, I felt really bad out there, and for some reason, I mean, my times were so far off of what I should be turning, and it just, everything wasn't really clicking at all. As a matter of fact, I was making a lot of mistakes, and I had some trouble with this, my bike. Something happened to the suspension on it. It was just, you know, a lot of it was just me. I didn't ride real hard, and I didn't feel comfortable out there at all. It was a very frustrating thing after Carlsbad last year, losing by 3 seconds. I think the biggest reason is because I had no idea the whole time I was out there that 3 seconds was what it was going to come down to. I want this race at Carlsbad probably as bad as I wanted any race. I'm kind of tired of the image of the motorcycle racers, especially the motocross industry or the motocross riders, who train as hard as we all do. And I think the American riders in the last 2 or 3 years have very much dominated the sport. And I think that's due to the fact of our physical training has gone up and up and up. And they've pushed it to new limits, and everyone seems to be pushing each other to new limits. And I think that's such the fallacy of our sport. Everyone assumes that we just jump on the motorcycle on Sunday and go racing.
People hear that I race motorcycles, they think that, I'm hell-bent for leather, and I'm just a big, wide open and just party animal. But I'm far from it. All through school, I couldn't party. I had to go to bed on Saturday night, so I could race on Sunday. So it takes a lot away from your social life, but later on, like now, it's paying off.
If I can't win it, I'd like to see Ricky win it.
Yeah, that's my feelings too. If I was going to take second, I'd want Brock to win, but if I can beat him, I'm going to do everything I can.
there's any part of the course that requires sheer nerve, it's this downhill. The fastest section of the course, they have to brake even while they're on that steep decline. It requires an awful lot of nerve. The track surface is still holding up very well at this point. It has not become the dry, adobe-like surface so many people feared. It's offering a very good grip to the studded tires. Right now, the track is very fast. Brock, with us now, Brock Glover in winner's circle. Brock, congratulations. It was a very fine ride. As he gets off his helmet here, Brock Glover has just won the United States Grand Prix. Brock, when we talked after the first moto, you were very hard on yourself. You said you hadn't ridden well at all. Still, you were fourth and you didn't make any mistakes. How do you assess your ride now in the second moto?
Well, I kind of did what I wanted to do, and David came on real strong, but he didn't have to put in the first moto. You know, he broke down before the halfway point. He was strong at the end, and it made a difference. But I planned, I didn't burn any excess energy at all the first moto, and I backed into a fourth, really. So I went at it the second moto with a lot more charge, and I think it made a big difference.
Why don't you admit it? You rode beautifully.
Thank you. Finally, I won this Grand Prix after so many seconds and stuff, and I'm really happy to win it finally.
Does it make up for your loss last year, do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet right now.